mute you if you scream.
At least you can say, if you see me dipping down, I'm looking for that bloody little shit bag.
Right, okay. I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said the S bag word because we're live. Somebody else would have heard that. I will hear it at some point. Evening, folks. Thanks for coming
Hi,
in.
everyone.
Start of another week. Now, tonight we have little Donna back. Donna Louise Burger. She's back with us. We try to get her back for ages. She's such a busy lady. And she kept begging to come back on, basically, sort it right. Fine, Donna. Come back on. That's fine. You know.
You bloody fibber.
Yeah.
And my surname's pronounced Burger.
Burger, what did I say?
Yeah. Burger.
I said burger.
Yeah.
Burger. Donna Louise Burger. No. Burger.
But
it's spelled burger.
Yeah, it's German.
All right, there's wee Eileen in. Wee Eileen from Fantasy Seekers Paranormal.
Hiya.
We're meeting up with Eileen and Halloween when we do our drive live in Edinburgh. But Donna has got a wee visitor in the room. So all I'm going to say is if you see her disappearing and running out that door behind her, then, you know.
It's a bloody spider like that.
They're always massive. They're always with that size. They're never that size. They're always that size. You know.
But believe me, as the night goes on, it's going to get like that.
Get Hubby to get it. Just shout
He's
Hubby.
asleep. He's already sleeping, bless him.
Oh, well, you're buggered then, hen.
I know.
Sorry. There's no, I take it Eileen's got a fear of spiders as well.
Oh.
That's so you're not be able to sleep at night knowing he's that thing's crawling about.
Well, thank God I'm in a different room.
Just when you finish the night, shut the door and put a towel at the bottom of the door so it can't come around to the door.
Yeah, believe me, that's the plan.
I was actually kidding, but that's
I'm not. That thing ain't coming after me tonight.
It's always African killer spider. Our wee one, she's 8 years old, and a few weeks ago there was a load of ladybirds outside, and the wee one, she was saying, "Dad, I think she said it's the African ladybirds." I says, "All right, these ones are African. They were just normal ladybirds," but she was like, "I recognise these. These are African ones." She was all right, baby girl. That's fine. You need to come and see the African ladybug. Don't like the big ones that run at 100 miles per hour.
Yeah, believe me, this was like, I saw it coming down the wall. I'm like, oh no. But I'm hoping my kitten will sort it out, but he's just Sparkle at the moment.
He's, you know. So as I say, if you see her bolting through the door, that's why.
Or I'm doing this. I'm constantly looking to see if it's not coming out after my toes.
You don't have a screwdriver handy by any chance?
No, I've got a nail file instead.
Good.
The screwdriver's in the bedroom.
Beside hubby. That's encouraging.
I actually left it on the dresser. I was going to bring it in just for the laugh.
Last time Donna was on, she was playing with a screwdriver menacingly.
I've got one of them.
That won't do as much damage as a screwdriver. It'll probably hurt. You know, if you hit me, it'll probably still hurt, I would imagine. But she had a serial killer kind of look about her the last time when she was holding this screwdriver, you know, with that. But tonight's got a nail file, so there's not very much damage you can do. Is it one of the wobbly ones?
It's quite solid.
You can't do much damage with them anyway.
Barbie's diving board. It could be Barbie's diving board.
Right, aye. Anyway, see, as I said to you earlier on, our last two shows where Eileen was, I managed to be serious.
What was that? Sorry.
The last two shows that I've done, I managed to be totally serious in them.
Why?
Because people say to me, "Can you be serious for once?" It was actually GSI, who were on their good friends. I was there for Nottingham, and before we went live, John was saying, you know, "Can you be serious tonight? And we'll talk some paranormal." I was like, "How does that work?" You know, I wasn't serious. You witnessed it, and I was serious, and we spoke about paranormal stuff as well.
Yeah, we're serious when we talk about paranormal stuff. I must admit, I was out at the weekend. I was hosting with the team. Oh my God, what a fantastic night. We had this table, massive table. It was huge. And I'm not exaggerating. It was a very, very big table. And we actually had it almost over. We had to quickly remove all of the equipment. I was playing a little game with the spirit saying, okay, I put a little cat ball behind a little light. And I said, let's see if you can rock the cat ball off from around the light and onto the floor. And the table was going nuts. 5 times this ball was rocked off the table. And then suddenly the table just gone boom, straight over.
Yeah, I was
and it was a big table.
Two seconds on go to the actual. They started talking about scientific stuff, and I'm lost to the sciencey side that we don't do. Well, I don't, because I don't understand it. I'm as thick as mince, so I don't do it. And so they started talking about the scientific side, and I was totally lost. You know, one of these shows, you're listening to your guest, but you don't have a clue what they're talking about. You know, and you're like, aye. And the hand always goes up to the mouth. Aye.
Yeah, it's like if you can't remember someone's name, you're like, oh yeah, sorry, what are you saying?
You put that kind of look on. Well, Eileen decided to get all sort of scientific, and I was totally lost. You know, because I'm just a plain and simple handsome guy. Not added in the handsome. Modest much? No, not modest much. No. So you this table going nuts?
Yeah, it was going absolutely crazy. It actually went over onto some of the guests. Like, it wasn't a heavy table, but it was long. And it was just going bang, 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 bang. And then, boof, we had to quickly just jump up, grab all the equipment off the table. And the table was virtually over on their laps.
So it's something we've never ever had. We've had stuff with the K2 knocked over once. You know, we've had K2 stuff and cat balls and all that, you know, but the only sort of movement we've had is the K2 get knocked over during the investigation as soon as I mentioned a guy's name. And it started to go nuts, and then it just went boom. If somebody just gave it a swing. But it's happened twice, actually. I tell a lie, it happened at Loudon Kirk as well. Laura was there, and the guy that owns the farm was there, and we put a K2 on top of one of the headstones, and the bugger came flying up.
Really?
And the guy that owns the farm nearby, he's not get any, you know, he's no one. How can you put it? He's got nothing to gain. But I says to him, "Did you see your jammy bottoms on, didn't you?"
I have, yeah. So have you. I saw yours too.
Get that clean. That's a family show.
I can't lift my leg up. I've got a dodgy knee.
And he actually, I said, did you see that? I said, did you see that? He said, I saw that flying up. And so we turned out later in the investigation, we can identify there was a lady who didn't know it was a family headstone, and what we could gather, it was the lady, Christina. She didn't like that being there. So, you know, that's what we could. I'm not saying 100% it was that, but Eileen saying we've done table tipping in Jedburgh Jail.
Yeah. Table walks. We had that as well in the studio because we went to the Eastbourne Hippodrome on Friday, and in the studio as well we had the tables spinning around, and so I must admit I absolutely love table tipping. I really do. Some people are dead against it because, like everything with the paranormal, it can be manipulated, like the Ouija board. You know, if you're doing glass moving, it can be manipulated. But when you've got your fingers either upside down and just gently touching it, and the table's going nuts, you can't manipulate that.
Have you ever had a table ready to move just on its own when it's not been getting touched?
Yes, I have, and my friend Jude, she can back me up. We was at Shrewsbury Prison. I was hosting with one of my old teams, and we was in the women's section, and the table actually jumped on its own. And Jude was sitting on the stairs. You've probably seen her interaction with Judy Frenshaw. You can ask her if you want to. And the table actually moved on its own, and no one was near it.
You see, how do you explain that? It just says, certain things can be manipulated, but how do you explain when nobody's actually touching it? Nobody's near
Exactly.
it.
Yeah, exactly. And then a couple of months ago, I did one of the local events near us down in Portsmouth, and we put a cat ball on a rocking horse saddle. And because there was loads of noises around this rocking horse, and we said, okay, if you're not happy with the cat ball being there, knock it off. I'm not kidding you, this cat ball went flying across the room.
See, we had that before as well. A few years back, we had that. It was on top of a set of railings at a cut card. And it was solid metal railings, but we had to kind of debunk it because there was a couple of former teammates that were there, and one of them was standing right next to it. And it was on a live. We had 2 cameras on it, and but all the camera caught was a cat ball flying through the air kind of thing. But somebody says that this individual had pinged it.
Yeah, no. We were all sitting down around the table. The rocking horse was like it wasn't near us. It was like a bit over in the corner, but all of us were sitting around the table, and we could hear taps and bangs and creaks coming from around it. We're like, okay, then see if you can throw that cat ball off. And it literally did. It went flying off this saddle. Lately, I've had quite a lot of stuff happen. I've been getting some really good EVPs. I did catch a shadow figure when we went to Gloucester Prison recently. I took 2 photos. Both the time frames are 2038, and in one of them you can see a shadow, like a figure.
That's good. Irene says love a cat. We love the cat balls as well. I know they can be.
I'm not an
advocate. We've had a long day. I can't read that call. We have had a good bit of intelligent response to questions and balls moving too. See, we've had a lot of responses with the cat balls. Asking questions. Can you light up that ball or light up the other ball, whatever. But to get stuff on camera as well. We've never really got any photos to date that we can't explain.
Luckily, because the team that I'm with, a lot of stuff is recorded and things, so there will be evidence of the table going that way as well, because the camera is on top of the table, and we've had to quickly grab everything off to save the equipment going flying on the floor.
So, see, when you take this is going to be a stupid question, but anybody who knows me will know I sometimes ask daft questions. When you're standing there, you're doing the table tipping, do you think that there is a spirit standing there actually physically, hands on the table, basically moving it?
No, I wouldn't say that they're physically, my opinion, they're not there physically moving it, but energy is all around us. So energy can be placed, in my opinion, anywhere it wants to be, especially if it is spirit. It's like if you do feel like you're on a Ouija board and you ask the spirit, can you point to where you're standing? They might move the planchette to where they're standing, but it doesn't mean they're directly behind you unless you can physically feel their energy behind you. Mm-hmm. I believe that the energy is all around us, and we create extra energy by calling out, by encouraging, by being lively and bubbly. We create that energy buzz that they can feed off. I wouldn't say they're actually on the table. I could be wrong. You don't physically know, but when you get taps underneath the table, obviously they are around that area, in my opinion, because you can't physically get taps under a table if they're not present. Maybe I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion. But energy is always around us, and we can enhance that energy by being, engaging. It's like if you get people that come through, you get people that go on a ghost hunt and they don't engage, the energy is flat because they're not giving what spirit need to communicate back with us. Spirit need energy, and we are their source, as well as all the electrical stuff we take with us. We give them the energy and the power of supply, in my opinion, to be able to encourage them to come forward and communicate with us.
I mean, the tapping, we did a train station about 2 years ago, a local train station. We've done a few investigations there, and there was wooden tables, and we'd asked, and I'd done the tap 3 tight, can you do this? And we never heard anything. But Laura was recording it on her phone. She just had her phone sitting, and it was later on when we were sitting here, and we listened back, and we heard 3 faint, very, very faint taps. And we listened to it hour and hour again, and we thought that it was 3 very, very faint taps that we do. Obviously, we never heard it on the night, but we definitely kind of heard it.
I've got some EVPs as well that I've been able to catch lately. And then when we went to Gloucester Prison, I said to my friend Marie, go and sit at the top of the stairs. And so she sat on the stairs, and I've said to Spirit, okay, Spirit, Marie's at the top of the stairs. Go give her a kiss on the cheek, and I will send it to you. I'll send it through WhatsApp, not WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, and you can hear a man say, "I'm here." You can clearly hear a man's voice going, "I'm
here." No, I don't even. I mean, the amount. I don't know you're the same, and plenty of other people are the same as well. The amount of EVPs that you actually do pick up, and I know a lot of people don't believe in it, and that's their choice. You know, not everybody believes, but it's when you get stuff like that, you know, and we've had many of them, and it's when you ask a question, and it's like, you know, in the train station we say, can you tell us where you are? And we got a woman's voice coming through, "I'm behind you." You know, straight after we asked the question, I don't know, how can you debunk that? Because there was many odds that said it. You know,
no, exactly, and it's not until you play it back. I mean, we went to the True Crimes Museum in Hastings a few weeks ago, and one of the young girls that work there, she has never done a ghost hunt before, but she asked, could she come in my team because she just joined on the event. I'm like, yeah, of course you can. So we went into this one section called the Death Chamber, and I was just being myself, saying, like, you know, I'm Donna. Do you know this lovely lady here, Georgia? And suddenly you hear a man go, but we never heard it with our ear. Again, I'll send it to you because I've got all the recordings, so I can send them over to you on your messenger. I think it's great when you can actually hear a spirit's voice of someone that you're trying to communicate with, and you can hear their responses, negative or encouraging. You can't argue with that, especially if you know you're on your own or there's people with you that are not talking and you've caught something. You can't argue that.
No, you can't. I've had a few personal ones. I lost a daughter back in 1992. She was just under 6 months, and thank you, dear. And her name was Donna. And we've always felt at investigation, we've always had this little girl following us about. Doesn't matter where we go, there's always a presence of a little girl. And we felt in the vaults as well, really strong when we did the Edinburgh vaults, and I felt that there was somebody sitting on my knee, because we were next to this door, quite a heavy fire door, and the door moved. So we thought it was a draft, but we says to Jamie Kistorfin, who, you know, runs the vaults, and he says there's no drafts down here, plus a draft wouldn't move that door, because that door is solid.
Yeah, I've been in both the vaults and they are solid.
This thing was rock solid, but we kept getting the word "dad" through, and so a couple of years ago, I did a wee lone walk in a Kirkyard here, and I got my sleeve pulled twice, the left hand sleeve. So Rosie Cardley was up actually when we did it. It was the beginning of the year. It was allowed in Kirk again. We went back, and I says, "Can you tell me who pulled on my sleeve that time I was here myself?" And we got a clear EVP coming back saying, "It was me, Daddy."
Oh my God.
And
that broke your heart.
Oh, that was. But I'd already had a few months before we'd done another Kirkyard, and again we felt the wee girl was there. So I says, saying that, it says it might be Donna. So I says, I says, if this is you, Donna, can you tell me what toy I used to put in your bed every night? And whenever we went in, I said, well, can you tell me what colour it was? Tell me what colour the toy was. And we got back twice, green. Everybody heard it. And she used to have a wee Rexy for Toy Story, the dinosaur. Yeah. She had a wee one of them, and I would put that in her cot every night.
Oh.
And we came back green. But then when I says, who put it in, she says it was me, Daddy. And it was clear as day, clear as night,
Oh,
whatever. And so, I mean, it's stuff like that, that you just cannot explain.
No, you can't explain that, can you? That's so lovely to know, though, that she's still with you.
It is because
Isn't it?
we always get the word dad or daddy through.
That's really lovely. It's confirmation to you as well that she's okay.
But that's it, that she's still kicking about. She's still, she's still here somewhere.
Yeah.
Eileen says when spirit talks about you between themselves, it's spectacular. Have you ever had that?
I've had my, not talking about me, but I've had loads of times, like through the spirit box, there's Donna. Especially when I used to go to one place all the time. I used to host there quite regularly. So in my eyes, like people get to know you, spirit get to know you as well, and they get to trust you. I mean, you, if you go to a place regularly as well, thinking it's haunted, spirit, I do believe, get a link with you, and they do learn to trust you, just like you have to in human form. And one time with the spirit box, it was, there's Donna, and I was like, yeah, I'm here. And another time as well, when I went back to this location a couple of weeks ago, I said, do you remember me? And you could hear, yes.
I see that. I mean, I've had this discussion quite a few times on the show. People say, going to the same place every time is, boring. Shouldn't do it.
It's
go
not.
to different places. We've done, Loudon Cut is your go-to place. We've done that, I don't know how, it must be over 30 times, 40, whatever. And but we've done other locations, some are one-off, never went back, as everybody does. But as you say, Donna, if you keep going back, and this is what I try to tell people, we're not out to ram it down everybody's throat that right, life after death exists, the paranormal's real, all that kind of stuff. But we're out there to try and build up a relationship, if you want to call it that.
Exactly.
Yeah,
and they have to learn to trust you, to know that you're not there to harm them. I mean, not be funny, but any spirit can think that you're just there to take the piss out of them because you can't physically sometimes see them. We're not there to take the piss out of them. We're there to learn about them and to try and get an understanding about them. And, why do they feel the need to be there? It's just general questions, isn't it?
That's it. I always say it takes time to build up trust. It does.
Yeah. I can't reply back, but absolutely it takes time.
We must have spent about best part of a year at Loudon Cut before we started getting any. We always had activity of some kind, K2 going off cat ball, whatever. We always had something. But it must have been the best part of a year before we started getting any kind of names through, and that were, constantly. Every time we went, we get, and it was names that we didn't get. Again, I like your view on this. You go to the Necrophonic, you get loads of apps out there, and people say, they've all got random words in them, which is fair enough. They've got a certain amount of words built in, names as well, probably. But it's when you get names at one location and you go to another one or another 6, and you don't get the names anywhere else.
Yeah.
And then you get back. Rigger spoke about this as well, because he's witnessed it at Loudon, that they get names there that they've never had anywhere else. Have you had that?
A couple of times when I've been to the one that I used to go back to constantly was the My Haunted Hotel, and you wouldn't really get names, but you'd get constant reminders of like the same energy. I think the only reason the names came about was through research, and like every now and then a name would be thrown up and it would carry on from there. But you'd feel the same energy around you all the time. So that was the only place that I used to really go back to constantly, was the My Haunted Hotel in Chester, because I was part of the team that have got exclusive rights to it. But yeah, I think, I don't know, I said I never really had the names. So I think because the program is always on YouTube every week, people hear names, you can get carried away by those names sometimes and just focus on that name. Whereas I don't like to focus too much on the name. I like to focus on what else is there that wants to communicate with us. If they want to come and speak to me, they're absolutely more than welcome to. I'll embrace that. but I want to find out who else is there, not just a name that's been thrown out. If that makes sense.
I know it does make sense. You know, I mean, we get certain same names as Loud and Curb, but when we did it, we Rosie came up and we went and we were recording on Laura's phone, and when we listened back to it, we found that there were maybe 4 or 5 other people there, you know, spirit wise, and they were talking amongst themselves.
Yeah, I had that in my old house once. Our old house was pretty haunted. It was quite active. And you know, like if you walk into a room of people and you know they're talking about you because it goes silent and you can feel the energy change. That happened at my old house once. I walked into the living room. Well, it was like a 32-foot lounge living room diner thing. It was like one big room. And I walked through this energy and it just kind of stopped. I was like, do you know what? I'm just coming in to grab my bag. Carry on talking about me if you want to, because I'm going now. And it's like the energy changed because I walked in the room. But you could feel that I just walked in on a conversation.
That's weird. You say I've always felt that at Greyfriars. See, you were saying about your living room, your 30-foot. So you had the living room, dining area, and kitchen on the one.
Yeah.
That's what we've got. Yeah. You see the couch there.
Yeah. The kitchen was on another room, but you had like your dining room, then it was the stairs, then it was the living room, and then you went through to the extension. But it was just in between, where the stairs were, because the stairs were opposite the kitchen door. And I walked in, I was like, whoa, I felt that. I was like, no, you lot carry on talking. I'm going. I'm not interested in what you got to say.
I just talk amongst yourselves.
Yeah, you carry your conversation. I just need to grab my bag. But I could feel that energy. As soon as I walked in there, it was like, you know, like if you walk into a pub that you've never been in before and you feel like everyone's turning around looking at you, you get that vibe. That's what it was like in my living room. I was like, no, carry on. I'm not interested. I know you're here. Have your conversation. I'm going back out.
It's like you walk into the party that you're not meant to be, that you're not meant to go to. You know?
Yeah.
I get that feeling. I don't know if Eileen does. She'll be able to tell us, because Eileen's done Greyfriars as well. I always get
love
that feeling.
Greyfriars.
Have you been to Greyfriars?
I've been Greyfriars 4 times. No, probably more than that. I've been to Edinburgh twice, and I think I've hung out probably about 6 or 7 times in Greyfriars. I love it. I just love that cemetery, and I did the tour as well. But I just love it. There's just something magical about that graveyard. I know the history and the story to it and stuff, but there's some graveyards where, I mean, I love graveyards anyway. I mean, we went to Highgate at the weekend, one of my places that I've always wanted to go to.
I'd love to go to Highgate.
Oh my God, Scott, you need to. It's unbelievable. I knew it was stacked up with graves, obviously, because the overflow of like plague victims where they just used to throw bodies in and stuff, and obviously all the deaths in London over the centuries and stuff. It's massive. I was actually blown away by what you could see and what was there. But it's a fantastic place. If you get to go, and you can come and swing past here as well.
I'll keep that in mind. Eileen's been to Highgate. I'll make a note of that. And you said on the live, Donna, so you can't take that back if we chat your door. And,
just make sure I'm around first of all, because I'm off out quite a lot. But no, Greyfriars, I think, because it's part of the Magnificent Seven cemeteries like around London, you've got to visit it. It's definitely one that you have to go to.
Well, we're actually going down to Heathrow next Tuesday night. Sarah's brother's going to Australia for a month.
Oh, okay.
And we're taking them down to Heathrow. We're driving during the night's flights at, I don't know, lunchtime on the Wednesday or something. So we're leaving here on Tuesday night to take them down. So I might have a wee word with Sarah, you know.
Yeah, I work during the day. That's the thing. I work during the day and I'm home normally about 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock.
Leave that with me. But Greyfriars, I've been to Greyfriars, I don't know how many times now. It's going to be in the hundreds. And I was actually talking about this last week on the show. I've always had a draw towards Greyfriars. I've always had this pull towards Greyfriars. Every time I go to Edinburgh, even if it's just 10 minutes, I need to go to Greyfriars and just have a walk about. And just getting back to what you were saying, about the party, meant to be at kind of thing. I always get that feeling when you walk into Greyfriars that you walk in the gate. I mean, Greyfriars sits in one of the main routes in and out of Edinburgh, one of the main roads. So you step outside and you've got, you've got the world, you get buses, lorries, everything, tourists, a lot. But as soon as you step in that gate, it's like giving back to the 16th, 17th century.
Yeah, you are. Literally, you're thrown back.
It just takes you back. But every time we go into Greyfriars, I always have the feeling that there's loads of individuals standing about and they're just looking at you. They have to say, why are you here?
I mean, when I went there, oh my God, a couple of years ago now, I actually, even though I was with the team and stuff, and even my hubby was there, I went off and had a little wander around on my own. And I don't know, the energy there is just, you can't describe it. It's just unbelievable. I know people say that there's a lot of sinister energy, but there's sinister energy all around us. But I don't know. To me, I think it's how you read it.
You see, this Greyfriars is getting the reputation of being the most haunted kirkyard in the world. That's what they say. But
yeah, because of Mackenzie.
Aye, but this is the thing. Mackenzie Poltergeist, that drives me nuts. St Cuthbert's is the same down it. That's just sits on Princess Street, facing I think it's the Caledonia Hotel Island. There's a big hotel at the end of Princess Street in St Cuthbert's sits. It's very, very similar to Greyfriars. Very, very similar. But as when people talk about the Mackenzie Poltergeist and it really grinds my gears because there's no such thing. Do you know where the Mackenzie Poltergeist name came from?
I've read it somewhere, but I can't quite remember why. All I remember reading is that a tramp had fallen through and landed on top of him, and it kind of stirred up from there.
I see. Well, we've got a theory about that as well. You've got the Covenanters prison. The Jan Henderson owns Sick the Dead Tours. Yes. And he wrote the book, The Ghost That Haunted Itself.
I've got his books.
Well, he had to give, there's over 3,000 reported incidents in the Covenanters prison. And there is, don't get me wrong, there is a certain kind of atmosphere when you walk in there.
I've been there.
But Jan, when he wrote the book, he wanted to give the entity, whatever you want to call it, he says, I need to give this a name. She called him Mackenzie Poltergeist. And there's been twice the tomb's been broken into, and activity in the prison tends to ramp up then. For years, everybody thought the Black Mausoleum Mackenzie's tomb was a Black Mausoleum. It's not. The Black Mausoleum is in the Covenanters prison. Yes. So our theory, and I spoke to Jamie about this, is Ivan says Jamie tells the story very well. He does. We've done a lot with Jamie. My theory is that obviously it's a Covenanters prison, and a lot of terrible things happened there back in the time of the Covenanters. My theory is it's one of the guards. One of the former guards is still there, and he still sees this territory as his own. Now people say, well, why does it ramp up when the Mackenzie tomb is broken into? But what people need to remember is George Mackenzie was, these guys, he was their boss, basically. And so they might see that as, somebody breaks into the boss's tomb as being disrespectful. So it angers them. So it angers them. But my theory is it's one of the former prison guards that's in the Covenant, and he still sees that area as his.
That he's still doing his job.
Because the guards were notoriously brutal. The prisoners, they would just randomly pick a prisoner every day and beat the crap out of them. Oh. And this was well known. They were very, very brutal towards the prisoners. And so that's my theory. It is one, and I spoke to Jamie about it. He says that is very, very possible. There's no documented evidence of George Mackenzie still roaming about there. And let's face it, why? And Jamie said this himself to me. George Mackenzie's buried in Greyfriars. If you were George Mackenzie, why would you want to hang about a place where you cause so much misery and suffering? You wouldn't. You'd be gone.
I don't know.
You know what I mean?
Some people still, even in the afterlife, just because we're dead, our personas and passions don't die with our bodies, because it's our energy, it's our soul. And if you're miserable getting life, you're still going to be miserable getting death. That doesn't change. So maybe he still does like to cause a bit of mischief.
That's where the misconception comes with George Mackenzie. I mean, he earned the name Bloody Mackenzie, but
yeah,
what a lot of people, and I've done some shows with Jamie on this, what some people forget is George Mackenzie was just following the orders of the King. King Charles system. And so George Mackenzie had to think of himself and his family. And if Mackenzie had went against the King, then it would have been seen as treason. He was a judge. George Mackenzie was the head judge in Scotland. And so he had to carry out the orders of the King, no matter what they were. But he actually tried to, the story goes, he actually tried to help the Covenanters. He wasn't very successful. But there's lots of storytelling down the years. So, I mean, people tend to forget that. If George Mackenzie turned around to the King and says, no, I'm not doing it, he would have been on the scaffold and his family for treason. That makes sense?
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. But people are feeding off the negative then, aren't they? Trying to make the story more out there than what it actually needs to be, to keep that memory alive and put the fear of God in people.
I mean, Jamie's been there 15, 16 years now.
Isn't Jamie mentioned in one of the books? Is it the... no point in me looking. Is it City of the Dead? Isn't Jamie mentioned in one of the books?
He runs City of the Dead tours.
Yeah, that's what I did. We did a City of the Dead tours.
And he also runs the Nidri Street Vaults as well. And the guy knows it. The guy knows the stuff. And I asked him once when we were through, he's been there 15, 16, and I says to him, Jamie's there all different hours, day and night. And I says, have you ever had anything happen to you? Or experience? He says, I've walked through this yard daily for the last 15, 16 years, middle of the night and all the rest of it. He says, I've never had one thing happen or heard anything in this yard the entire time.
That's interesting, isn't it?
So it makes you think. But then you get these teams that go in, even though investigations are banned now, but you get these teams that go in and say, we found the Mackenzie poltergeist.
Oh, dear Lord.
We met the Mackenzie poltergeist. Although here annoys it, that's George Mackenzie.
Yeah, it's because he is like the stigmata of the graveyard, isn't he?
Aye. And a lot gets blamed on Mackenzie. And I mean, people can shoot me down for saying this. I'm not dissing Greyfriars or whatever. I love it. As everybody knows me does know. But it's when all these different stories come out and you think, no.
There is something that I need to dispute. Not dispute, but when I did one of the tours, obviously people say that little Bobby Greyfriar is buried at Greyfriars, little Bobby. But we got told that he's not actually buried there. He was in a churchyard across the way. Would you know if that's true?
No, he's buried out. When you come out of Greyfriars, when you come out the gates, you see there's, I think it's Candlestick Island, be able to tell you the name of the street. The street goes down a hill. He's about 200 yards down that street.
That's he's not actually buried in Greyfriars, is he?
No, he's outside because there was a law.
I didn't know that. No, because I'm on a page called Creepy Old Cemeteries, and everyone's posting pictures of Greyfriars and Bobby. And I said, Bobby's not actually buried there. They're like, well, yes, he is. I'm like, I did a tour. I'm not disputing you're wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but we got told he is not actually buried in Greyfriars Cemetery. He's buried outside of the cemetery. And people get so defensive because they want to believe the story of little Bobby. I mean, it's a really beautiful story that, he loved his master that much. He didn't want to even leave him in death.
Yeah.
But when you try to correct someone, not in a negative way, just to say, well, actually, I don't quite think that's right. And then suddenly people bring up all these Google searches, Bobby Greyfriars buried in the cemetery. That's his tomb. But yeah, we got told through the tour that you just mentioned, he's not actually buried there. He's buried outside.
Yeah, he's no candlemakers. I think he's back in the 18 or 1900s. They were digging up just outside on that bit of path, and they uncovered the skeleton of a dog. But it was reburied. You know, it got a proper service and what. It was reburied. And as I was just going to say, Eileen saying animals were not permitted to be buried in sacred grounds or cemeteries.
So even though like everybody chipped in, you know, like the whole city chipped in and bought him a legal, they bought his legal collar or something, didn't they? Because dogs had to be legalized. They actually bought a league to make him legalized. And people are saying that's why the reason he's buried there is because the city actually bought Bobby.
No, he was never buried there. He was buried just as Candlemaker's Row.
Yeah, I thought that. I knew that, but
there is a headstone.
Yeah, there's a headstone, like his little monument. But then, I don't know. I think it's just a story. But when you try to, in a polite way, correct someone, that shackles go up more than a cat that has been scared by a ghost. And they won't have it, you know, they won't listen to what you're trying to say in a polite way. But I knew. So thank you very much for confirming that, because I knew what I knew was right.
His owner, he's buried there. I'm sure he's way down the back. Oh, who was it? I can't remember the guy's name. I'm sure the guy's name was Henderson, maybe. He was an ex-policeman.
Was it John?
John Henderson. I might. Eileen might be able to tell me. I know that his name's gone. I didn't touch his name, by the way. Obviously, you've seen the statue outside John Gray.
That's it, John.
I'm thinking of Jan Henderson, John Gray.
Yeah, it's John. I knew his name was John.
He's buried down the far backer. Greyfriars, as far as I know. But I mean, what Eileen's saying there, and again, Jamie, this is something that really grinds his gears. Every touch in the nose. Some people say it's good luck. Some people say it's bad luck. It doesn't mean anything. It just ruins the.
It's hollow.
His statue.
You're going to start wearing it away.
You can see the damage that's been done to it. And
and they say that they want people to stop because it's hollow. They'll end up wearing off all the metal.
Aye, it's but you still get, every time I've been through, there's always a crowd and they're standing.
People are just they don't listen. They have to do what they feel is right for them, not what's right for what they've been told to do. People are arrogant.
I mean, people need to remember, you know, they're tourists. You know, we've all been in different countries, you know, and seen things that are sacred to, you know, people in that country. And you try to respect them. People come and they go to Edinburgh, especially the old town, and they need to respect the history. I mean, you can back hundreds of years. You know, the Royal Mile, the castle, the whole shebang, right? All the way down Canongate, and especially Greyfriars. I mean, the estimation in Greyfriars is about 500,000 bodies are buried in Greyfriars. You know,
I know
that's always astounded me. Even though it doesn't matter how many times you go, it's when you obviously you go in, you've got the original gate down the back, down the bottom end. There's way down. Well, that was the original level of Greyfriars when it opened. You know, when they first started getting used.
Yeah.
So when you stand down there and you look up the hill and you think, that's all bodies.
Yeah.
The entire, it doesn't matter.
Edinburgh basically almost got wiped out because of the plague, and all the bodies ended up in mass pits in there, and that's why it's all unlit. I mean, obviously, it sounds really bad, but obviously I'm from Surrey, but I have read a lot about Edinburgh and stuff. The city just captivated my heart. It just stole part of me that I don't think I'm ever going to get back. And then when you read about obviously the different levels, is because of the bodies where they've had to build the ground up to. That's why it's on different levels, isn't it? Because of the bodies that are underneath there. That's
the level of the ground tells a story. It does, and it's especially the same. You stand down the bottom end of it and you look up towards the actual cup selling. You think it's just all bodies. And I mean, Jamie's showed he's got a wee tray, probably that size, and it's all bones. Because some of the bodies are like a foot underneath, below the surface. Yeah. And he says whenever they get heavy rain there, there's quite a few times, and people have handed in bits of bones that came up, because of the weather, or maybe there's workmen been doing something in there, and it's just basically below the surface.
Also, animals, though, is it wild animals? I mean, when we did the tour there, it was actually hammering down. It was completely just. It was abysmal. It was so wet. And the tour guy said, whatever you do right now, do not stand on the grass because you will get a bone pop up.
Aye, they're bang on, Donna. I mean, we've never had anything, we've never found it, but Jamie's sure is plenty. His wee collection that he's doing. Bones Workup does that to Chillingham and too. I mean, I'm not any expert by any means, but I dare say through time, they do work their way to the top,
Yeah.
And they're going to pop up. But Greyfriars it's a wonderful place, and people have said to me, well, can you describe Greyfriars to me? Where do you start?
You can't, can you? There is no start and there is no end. You could just talk about it forever. I mean, we've got a graveyard near us. It's probably about 15 minutes from us. It's called Brickwood. You've probably seen the photos that I've posted of it. I love it there. I've got such a pull to that place. It doesn't matter how many times I go. I always see something different because it's just massive. I mean, we went there last weekend, and my hubby's from around that area anyway, and we found parts of the cemetery we didn't even know existed. It was unbelievable. They have that pull.
Why do you think that is? As I say, I've always had a pull to Greyfriars, and we've got a kind of pull to Loudon Kirk as well. I get told years ago by a medium, I don't know how reliable she was, but we were talking about, I was saying to her about, very drawn. I think it was a post in a group I was in, and is there any places you're drawn to? Something like that. But I say I'm drawn to Greyfriars, and I don't know why. And she says it's because you're buried there. You were a soldier, previous life, and your name's Jeff or Jeffrey. And that's where you're buried. Now, whether that's true or not, I've got no idea, because I don't have any recollection of past life. I think we were talking about this last week on the show as well, about past life regression and stuff like that. Never had it done. I don't know if I want it done, but
you should try. I've had past life regression. The first time I did it, absolutely scared the crap out of me. It was awful. But then when I went back into the meditation, like the hypnosis side of it, I had a completely different experience.
I know Eileen's had it done. She's spoken about it a few times with Eileen in the chat. She's had it done, but I don't know if I'd fancy getting it done. I have a kind of case I'd been a serial killer or something in a previous life, murder or something like that,
But it'd be interesting though to get it confirmed if you were actually a soldier. It'd be nice to find out if what you were told has a link.
It would be, because I've never been able to explain the pull towards it's just weird, maybe I'm just broken. But it's just when this woman says, you were a soldier, you're kind of 50-50, you're kind of, okay. And then you start thinking, well, maybe there's some kind of truth in it. Why do you think, Eileen, saying you have to trust who's doing it? Talking about the past life regression. Why do you think you get such a pull towards a certain location? Do you think maybe you've got an attachment with spirit there, and they're kind of subconsciously wanting you back?
I wouldn't be surprised. Not that sometimes you may be aware they're around you, but I think sometimes if they pop up in your dreams as well, like places like the cemetery you've been to, then maybe you're not looking hard enough to what you should be seeing.
Mm-hmm.
That's why you keep going back, because you keep missing that key thing that you might be being forced to see, but you're not actually noticing it. One, they are just so peaceful and beautiful anyway, because you just look at all the headstones and the love that has gone into creating it.
Aye.
But I do believe that you might be missing something. That's why you keep going back, but you may not be subconsciously aware of it.
See, we did a place called Caldwell, I think 2-3 years ago, and spent about 2 months there, and we got tons of evidence in that there. But I always want to kind of, every now and again, I fancy jumping out. It's about 20 minutes, half an hour for here. But I was, every now and again, I'll get a wee thought, fancy a wee run out to Caldwell. I don't know why. It just pops in.
Yes, because you're missing something in my eyes. That's what I believe. It's like if you go to like an investigation. I mean, I must admit, I don't do investigations in churchyards. I love walking around them, but I'm not one that will start investigating within the churchyard because it's a place of rest. You know, but that's just my point of view. I don't disrespect anybody that does that because that's what they like to do. You know, you're enjoying it, you're getting communication, have fun. But I've never been drawn to do investigations within the churchyard. I just like going there, feeling the energy, reading the headstones, and you know, just walking around, you know, and just trying to think about the person's name. And sometimes where I go in Brookwood, they give you, if it's a memorable monument, they put little plaques so you can actually scan it and it will tell you all about that person. I just like knowing about the person rather than speaking to them through a spirit app. I like to sometimes, if you can Google their name and finding out who they were, I like doing it that way, not physically investigating at a churchyard.
I'm the same as you. I mean, we do investigate churchyards because, you know, we're allowed and we're built up kind of trust there, so we're going to keep at it, you know. But I love reading the headstones. I don't know, just get back to Greyfriars. I don't know if you ever noticed this, down the bottom end of Greyfriars, against the wall, there's this massive white marble. I think it's white marble, but it's massive and it's a family plot. And I think there's 6 or 7 people buried there. But, you know, as you say, it gives you their names, dates, when they passed, and it's got kids there. And I think, well, the kids passed, there was 2 kids, and the 2 of them passed within a year of each other. And then the mother passed, and then the father passed. And you think, well, what happened to the kid? It makes you start wondering, because it kind of tells their, no full life story, but it makes you, well, you know, what happened to the kids? Why did they pass within such a short time each other? And then why did the mother pass in such a short time? Was it a broken heart? Was it grief?
Yeah.
Was it a disease?
Yeah.
You know, and I think the husband, he passed away a year or 2 after it as well. And as you say, some of the headstones are beautiful. You know, some of them are must have took weeks to actually do. And I know a lot of people walk about, you know, say, oh, that's nice, that's nice. I've done it myself years ago. You know, that's a nice one there. I like that one. But what a lot of people tend to forget is each headstone represents a person.
Yeah.
You know, some mother, father, somebody's brother, sister, whoever. You know, and they had a life, the family, their job, and all the rest of it. And, you know, so I should take the time to stop and read some of them and just, you know, learn who these people were.
One thing I always do as well, even like on Saturday, if I'm taking like a picture of a headstone, I always say, I'm just taking your photo. I hope you don't mind. I always say, I'm just taking your photo. And like, thank you very much.
I don't know what it's like down there, but up here, I learned this last week. It's actually illegal. I think it was Liam for Highland Paranormal that was on. It's actually illegal to clean headstones up here. I don't know if it's the same in England.
In Ireland?
England, you know, where you used to do it. England.
Oh, I don't know, but I wouldn't personally go and clean someone's headstone because.
No, what I mean is if you're in a churchyard and there's a headstone, you're trying to read it, you know, maybe a wee bit's obscured by a bit of mud or some moss or something like that.
I don't touch. No, I leave well alone. I leave well alone. I actually told my mum off of this because when she was up the graveyard sorting out her brother's headstone, she said there was a pot plant that had fallen off the next doors and she put it back. I said, Mum, no disrespect, but you never mess with someone else's grave. I said, whether you're putting something back out of the kindness of your heart, you don't ever mess with someone else's grave because it's not your place.
I suppose that's true. I've been tempted just to, if you're trying to read something, you think, or just to maybe clean it up a wee bit. You know, you think,
Yeah.
give that a wee wipe to clean it up.
No, I don't. It's not our place to do that.
I know, I do. I get what you mean, but sometimes you just kind of, I'll just tidy that wee bit up, you know. But as you say, it's no their place to do it. But I chat away to residents of the cemeteries as if they're still here, which it's quite right, you know. A lot. I visit my dad's grave, you know, every now and again, and I'll just go and see, you know, how we doing, young, you know, how we doing, Alden, and you know, tell them how your day's been, stuff like that. And a lot of people do it.
Yeah. I tell you what was interesting. A couple of months ago, I went to Mickland Priory. This is like with the team I'm with now, but I was as a guest. And I do like to try and speak to spirit as if they are still in the physical. And we've got a Frank's box, which I'm now a proud owner of one. And I said to the spirit, he kept saying that what was his name? I can't remember what he said, but he was constantly saying his name. And I was like, oh, hello, how's your day been? And he replied back to me, fine, thank you.
I totally agree with you, Donna, and you know, I think it's full time as well. You just talk to them like they're sitting right next to you, because basically they could be sitting right next to you.
Yeah.
You know, my old flat had a spirit in there, and you know, wee things would get moved about, keys, remote my Buddhas. Really used to annoy me because I was quite OCD with my Buddhas, and they were all in a certain place, and I could tell if one had been moved. And I stayed myself, so I came into work and I'd noticed that Buddha, it might just have been a couple of centimetres, but I'd noticed it had been moved, you know. And I used to come in, I'd just say, you know, what a day I've had today. You know, I'd be sitting in my living room, you know, believe what happened today. I missed that bus this morning, it started raining, and, you know, just usual stuff you would tell anybody.
Yeah, you just chat.
You just chat when you're good. You just, right, I'm away to work now, I'll see you the night when I come in. Should be about the usual time. And folk would probably think you were nuts. You know?
We are nuts. If you're dealing with paranormal, you're bloody nuts.
You know, I mean, you know, there's one night I get really angry where I was watching a film. It was a Saturday night, and I had a galley kitchen that ran off my living room, and I was sitting in my chair watching a film, and the kitchen bin lid flew off. And I was like, would you just give me effing peace? I'm watching my film. Do we want after? I'm trying to watch this film. And after that, I never did anything moved or anything, but I still talked away. But I gave him into trouble. You know, because I was trying to watch this film.
We had that, going back to our old house, we had that as well, because I knew the spirits were there, and we went and saw a medium, and she said about the spirits in our house. And we walked in, none of my children were there because they were at their dad's house in Hemel. And I was like, right, okay, I know you're here. There was only my husband and myself in the house. I said, I want you to do the one thing that you know will really, really wind me up. Went to bed, come down the next day, because I had, obviously, it was a 32-foot room, as I said, had pictures going all the way along the walls. Every single photo had been pushed as if someone just gone along and tipped everyone in. I was like, you little sugar puffs, you little shits. But they did what I asked them to do.
But to me, that sounds like you've got a relationship there, and they like a laugh and a joke the same as you do. It says, right, well, do you know what? You dare me to do it, I'm going to do it. So you go to your bed, because I'm going to mess about with your pictures. But Eileen says we'd behind us. We probably would behind us as witches.
Yeah, we would. That's what I say to people as well. I said, okay, if you are communicating with a spirit that may be 300 years old, I said, you've got to understand that they will see us as doing witchcraft, because back in that day, it would have been classed as witchcraft. You know, so they may not want to talk to us because we're the sinners.
Yeah. So do you think, say you get a spirit for, you know, like say the 1700s, you know, or the 1600s when the witch trials and all that were rife, do you think that, I believe that spirits get the capacity to learn.
Yeah, I do too.
That they can pick up, hence why cameras and all that get messed about, because I think they watch and they know how to, you know, they learn themselves how to maybe turn a camera off or whatever. I know some folk might laugh at that, but no doubt we've all experienced it at some point. Camera's been turned off when you know there's nobody else been near them, you know.
Yeah.
So maybe a spirit for maybe 1700s, you know, as time goes on, there, you know, everything, the world's evolved, you know, with technology. Maybe spirit evolves as well. That makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might know what a mobile phone is now.
Yeah. I believe that. I do believe that, because there are so many paranormal investigators out there now, and so many go to the same locations, they will get used to, oh, here comes that phone again. Here comes that again. Let's just say hello, then we can go, you know. I do believe that they have learned to communicate with us by using their energy to put up voice boxes again.
I think I've had fixed. See, that happened to us. We did the Ivy House 2 years ago with Charlie and Rocks, and we had locked off cameras to the stairs. We were up the stairs, but we were locked off it, and there was a light on top of each camera. One of the cameras in the room, you can see the light moving on the camera, but the camera doesn't move, but the light moves. Now, there wasn't any cars outside or anything, because the road was on the other side of the house. So somebody could say it was a passing car, but that because, you know, this room wasn't anywhere near the road, but it was the actual light in the room moved, but the camera never moved.
Yeah, I think you sent me that.
And we were up the stairs, so we can't explain it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's when stuff like that happens. So I think that spirit, they watch and they learn, they take it on board what we're doing and what we're using.
Yeah, massively.
And
I believe that too. I do believe that. It's like when, you know, if you say that, you know, if you're doing a Ouija board and you ask the spirit, oh, do you not know how to spell? And then suddenly they'll spell no. You're like, okay, you do know how to spell because you just spelt no rather than going to know. You've just spelt no.
You've just
they're toy with us.
And
yeah.
And you get, you know, say again, you're getting spirits from 1700s, and people, you know, a lot of people say to me, well, they taught and how they would talk back then. You know, but maybe not. Maybe doing through the years, they have learned to speak the way we speak.
You know what I mean? I think they do evolve. It's energy, you know. I do think that, you know, spirits are able to evolve.
Aye. And here's a question for you, right? It popped into my mind. Just long story sideways. My dad passed in 1995, cancer, beat 2 chihuahuas, right? And I usually didn't see visit him before he was diagnosed. One of the chihuahuas was a lovely wee thing, you know. The other one was a wee, you know what I mean? This thing was evil. And every time I went down it to get locked in the kitchen, otherwise you lose your ankles. So the night that he passed, you know, I was up the hospital with my stepmom and back to his house, and I sat down in my dad's chair, and my stepmom went out of the kitchen to make a cup of coffee, but she forgot to shut the door. And this thing came belting out, and I was expecting to lose my kneecaps because, you know, I've been doing it for years. But all of a sudden, it jumped up my lap and cuddled into me.
Oh.
Do you think, now people might think I'm nuts, but do you think that maybe, you know, just use my dad as an example, maybe my dad passed and he said to the dog, right, you know, that's Scott, you need to be nice to him now. Do you know what I mean? Do you think spirit would, I'm not talking about me personally, I'm just talking in general, I'm just using that as an example.
I don't know. I've not really ever thought about that. But if you were sitting in your dad's chair, obviously that's a bit of comfort for your dad's dog as well. So he may have associated like you being there as like a memory of your dad, where he used to come and jump up on you to your lap. I don't know if I've not thought about it, but it'd be interesting to actually know if spirit have spoken to animals. Say, right, be nice now because I'm not here.
I see that's the thing. I know, you know, the people says, I believe as well, you know, when somebody passes over, they can come back and they can keep an eye on you and stuff.
Yeah, of course they can.
who's to say that they don't keep an eye on their pets as well? Because
Yeah,
we
you
all
don't
know
know.
that animals, we all know that animals are more open to spirit than we are.
Yeah.
Cats, dogs, whatever, that they can see and hear spirit where we can't. So who's to say that, my dad or whoever came back and says to his dog or cat, whatever, right, I'm not here anymore. So it's down to you to look after the family. Or some people might think it's absurd, but who's to say that's not how it is?
That's an interesting thought, though, isn't it?
See, I get these random questions that pop into my head every now and again.
Yeah, but that's good, though, isn't it? That's good because, I don't know, it'd be... What are you looking at? Sorry, my cat's looking at the floor.
Is that spider?
Yeah. Oh, don't say that, please. Do not say that. But no, that'd be interesting to find out if spirit did come back. And look, my cat's come to say hello now.
I can see a tail. Oh, we've got two. I don't know where they are. I think one's over there.
This is my new little baby. He's my early birthday present.
All right, how old is he?
I will be 50 in October.
No, you, the cat.
Oh, my cat? He's 17 weeks old.
This is how old. I'm like, Tracy, how old you?
This is Jinx. He'll be 17 weeks. He's 17 weeks old.
Oh, Jesus, that's a good one. I was talking how old your cat.
Oh, what you say? I was asking how old I was.
Why would I ask randomly how old are you actually, Don? Why would I ask? Oh, that's a good. What's your PIN number? That's
I misheard you.
It's good to know you're going to be 50. You don't look at,
Oh, thank you. I bloody feel it.
Oh, Jesus. What? Actually, how old you are?
Yeah, I honestly thought you said, how old am I? I'm really mishearing things at the moment. I'm hearing things that I'm not being said.
You're too focused on that spider. No, sometimes I'll get random questions pop in. I could be in the middle of Tesco or something like that, and something will just pop into my head and think, I wonder why. It's like I'm in a group and I put a question in the other day. Why do people automatically look at the sky when they think of, heaven and life after death? And everybody looks up to the sky. Why do people do that?
I've never done that. I just look at the sky because I love clouds.
All right. A lot of people look up to the sky. So my time's coming. I'll be up there soon. Think,
I'm going down there.
You see, you're there, you can down there or up there, when we know that spirits all around us. But people still say, why? I'll be up there soon. Or I'm going downstairs. I'm probably going downstairs and all, Donna, so I'll probably see you there.
We can have a party.
We can have a little party. And I'll ask you your age.
I think people just want to believe that they're going to go to a better place, and because heaven is classed as a better place, and even people that have passed over yet they've never believed in the afterlife, they've come back and said, oh my God, it's amazing here. I didn't think that heaven would be like this, or it's just, I don't know. I think people want to believe that they are going to go to somewhere better, when actually, if you've been a little toe rag, you may not go where you want to go. I do believe that. I won't say we're given a choice of where we can go, but I do believe that we don't all go to the negative. We do see the positive. We do experience something different.
Mm-hmm. I always saying, she's a good girl. I'm going up to. I've seen some of your posts, Eileen. I wouldn't be too sure. I think the jury's still looking at one. They'll still have a look in the book to see if your name's on it, where you're going. No, I'm saying.
Yeah, I actually don't believe in heaven and hell, because no disrespect, but being on earth can be bloody hell sometimes.
I know, especially this weather. What's that all about?
I don't mind the weather. But yeah, I actually don't think of like, oh, that's heaven. I I'm too busy cloud watching.
Sometimes I'll sit and watch the clouds. You see sheep or pigs or something like that, you know.
Yeah, I'm always doing that. One thing I'm always, you said like you'll have random thoughts pop into your head. I'm really bad at starting a conversation with myself, and then I ask my hubby, "Well, what do you think?" And he'll say, "Oh, Don, you're doing it again." He says, "You're having a conversation with yourself, and then expecting me to give you the answer."
So you talk to yourself, you ask yourself a question, and you ask your hubby the answer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have a full-blown conversation with myself, and then I'm like, "Well, what do you think?" And he's like, "What are you on about now?" I'm like, "What? I just asked you." He said, "No, you've asked yourself, and you want me to give you the answer."
Right. He obviously loves you very much.
Someone's got to.
I've done that myself. You know, you'll be sitting, you think, right, today I've got to go and do this, and before you realise that you're actually talking out loud.
I'm like Shelley Valentine. I talk to the wall because I get more sense out of it sometimes.
But you do it subconsciously, and then before you realise you're like that, I'm talking out loud. People can.
It's
people
so
can hear
easy.
me.
It's good to have a chat to yourself because then you can't ever tell yourself that you're wrong.
Well, that's it. I never fall out with myself because I know I'll just self-forgive myself.
No, or it's like, "Oh, Don, stop talking crap and just get on with your day."
Exactly. And, you know, I always say that if I'm wrong, I'll always be right. So it doesn't really matter.
Exactly. Yeah, no one's going to tell you any different because you're arguing with yourself.
And then I'll forgive myself for falling out with me. That's going. I talk to myself in supermarkets.
Yeah.
I talk to people in supermarkets who usually tell me to go away because they don't know me.
I accidentally, in one of our local Tesco stores, I walked backwards into a freezer and I thought it was a person and I apologised and I realised it was a freezer.
I know the dumbest thing I ever did. I'm going back years and years. I don't know if you remember C&A. You remember the show C&A?
Yeah, we used to call it Cheap and Awful.
I don't know who it stood for, but it was the one in Glasgow. I went in and I went up to somebody and I asked them, I say where the gents section was or something. It was a fucking manacle.
That's worse than me apologising to a freezer.
It was a manacle. I just looked at it. You're not a person.
That's hilarious.
You're not going to know.
So funny. That's so funny. I get people talking to me sometimes in the shop as if I know where things are. And I'm like, I don't work here. I'm sorry. I can't tell you where it is. Just head down that way and you might find it.
No, I see, I've done that. I don't know if it's a Scottish thing, I know. No disrespect to the English, but I don't know if it's a Scottish thing. But if I'm in a big shop, which isn't very often, then I'll just stop somebody. Customer, I'll just say to somebody, where's the shoes? Have you seen it? Aye, son, they're doing there, you know what I mean?
You get that here.
I do that quite a wee bit. I'll just stop somebody and talk to them. But back in the one of the funniest things I ever seen was one of my old mates years ago. I took him to the off license. I was sitting in the car and I had a silver car at the time. And there was a silver car parked in front of me. And he came out the off license and he got into this other car. And you could see he was sitting looking straight ahead, and then he turned round. And then he realised it wasn't me. He got into the wrong car. But I was sitting there thinking, how long is it going to take him to realise that he's in the wrong? I take out and he get into he says, I get into the wrong motor. I was like, I know, I was watching you. See, the guy just looked at me.
I've had that happen to me before. I was in one of my ex-husband's car and some guy actually almost opened the passenger door and realised I was sitting there. Bloody hell, my heart went in my mouth. Literally made me jump out of my flipping skin.
I've done it at the shops. Our last car was a Ford EcoSport and it was grey and black. And I went up the shop one day and parked the car into the shop and came out and I was pressing the fob and trying to open the door. And this guy came out behind me, he was looking at me. Then I realised it was near car. The two cars were parked next to each other, were identical. Right? Yeah. Same model, same colour. And I was like that, and I looked at the guy and says, "That's not my motor. That's my motor."
That's so embarrassing when that happens. I've had that happen so many times. I'm sometimes so much in my own little world, I forget what I'm actually doing. And then I could be like trying to open up the wrong car door and I'm like, oops, quickly move on.
You active if you done on purpose, don't you? I tried to get in a car as well, not me. That's called stealing, Eileen. I think we talk about a different thing here. You know, that's what you do is it kind of illegal. You know, that's called car theft, but we don't condone that.
These are accidents.
You know. But with all these stupid things, you know, I nearly get hit by a bus once. I actually get skimmed by a bus. As you can tell, we're off the paranormal. We're on these stupid things that we've done. I get skimmed by a bus in Glasgow. One time. I'd got off this bus and there was two sets of lights. There was the main traffic lights and about 10 feet back were a set of pedestrian lights. Crazy setup, but that's what it's like, maybe 10, 20 feet back. And I was looking at the wrong set of lights. The traffic lights were red. So I stepped out onto the road. And it was actually the bus had just got off. Went by. Luckily enough, it wasn't going at any speed. And he actually skimmed.
Oh my God. You're lucky to be sitting here now talking to us.
I know. But it was one of the moments you step back and think, the first thing you think is, you don't think, oh God, I'm lucky, but you think, who saw me? Did anybody see that?
Yeah, it's like when I used to live in Hemel Hempstead, that's where I'm originally from. I was walking through town one day, again, completely in an oblivious world of my own, which I'm very good at doing sometimes. And at the back of the Hemel town centre, there's a thing called the Water Gardens where you got like a river that runs through it. It runs down into the Thames. And obviously ducks congregate there. There's so many ducks. I was walking down past McDonald's. I remember it so clearly. This little kid said duck. I've gone down like that, but it was on about a duck flying over. But I've actually bent down and I thought, oh no, who's seen me? I was like, Donna, just carry on walking.
That's it. It's no fact that you're lucky to be alive. It's a case of who's seen me. I did in a Gale Street where I was still single at the time, many years ago. And you no doubt go them doing there, these big massive black bins. You know, big square, they're like post boxes basically. And I was walking up a Giles. I don't know if have you ever been in Giles Street in Glasgow in the afternoon?
No, I've not been to Glasgow yet.
Why not?
Because I've only been to Edinburgh.
Glasgow's just along the road.
Yeah, I know. I will. Me and my hubby do plan to do a complete tour of Scotland.
Oh, your first stop should be Glasgow.
Okay.
But anyway, I was walking up Argyle Street and there was this young lady walking down, and she was quite attractive, you know. So you do what you do. You think she's quite nice. So you're kind of fixed on this. You know, I'm not saying in a kind of pervy way. Do you know? You just admire this young lady walking towards you, and I walked right into the bin, didn't I? Slam.
Oh no.
And these things are about waist height, just a baby belly height, and they don't move. These things they must be, you know, welded into the ground. No, I mean,
don't tell me you went in there head first.
No, I've never been out of the thing. But
I would pay to see that.
It was a Gale Street in the middle of the afternoon. Eileen, you know what I'm talking about. It's mobbed. It's a pedestrian. The pedestrian bit I was in is absolutely chock-a-block.
I just read what Eileen said. She was living in Bricket Wood. Yeah, I used to go to Bricket Wood quite a lot.
Oh, so you used to be neighbours?
Yeah.
Eileen's lovely. She runs Phantom Seekers Paranormal. We met up with her in Edinburgh beginning of the year, Eileen, wasn't it? When Rosie Cardiff, the Good Gang, her partner, were up. So we went through Edinburgh for the day and we met with Eileen. And she's coming out with she's Black Boy pub.
Yeah, I used to go to a pub. It had a mill. This was in Bricket Wood. It had I think it was called the Mill. It had like the water mill. I think it was called the Water Mill. and it did have the watermill on the side. You used to go across a little bridge to get to the pub.
Right, is that what it's called, Black Boy Pub?
Yeah, I don't recall that, but I do recall. I'm sure it was the watermill. That was in Bricketwood.
No, she's been here. No, she's doing a drive live in Edinburgh in Halloween, and Smug Oak Lane. Is this you reminiscing now?
I think so.
Smug Oak. I've never
I've
heard
heard
of
of
it.
that. I've heard of it. But yeah, I used to go to Bricketwood sometimes to that pub. I'm sure it was called the Watermill. I need to find out now. I need to find this out.
I've got absolutely no idea. I'm sure you can. It's the same as haunted pubs. You know, no doubt you've got a few down there.
We've got quite a lot of haunted pubs around near us.
It's something we don't have in it. We have Kilmarnock, which is about 20 miles west of Glasgow. We don't have any. Not that I know of anyway.
What? Haunted pubs?
Aye, haunted pubs. Who can I let
we've got quite a few. We've got a place near us called the Devil's Punch Bowl, and there's a pub up there, and that's supposed to be really, really, really haunted. Obviously, because being down south, a lot of people don't actually investigate down south because most haunted places they associate up north. But we've got quite a lot of stuff going on down here. You've got all of Portsmouth, you've got Essex, there's all Hastings, you've got Colchester. There's so many different places around our way that are known hauntings.
Because I always say you need to come to the Banshee with me.
Oh, that's Edinburgh, isn't it? I've been in the Banshee.
The Banshee is. Oh, I'm trying to think where that is. That's
next door to the vaults.
Aye, it's attached to the. There's two sets of vaults in Nidry Street. There's the ones that Jamie runs, and then there's other. We did the other ones in. No face about the one.
It's the South Vaults, isn't it?
Aye,
it's the one literally right next door where you have to walk in and then you go up.
Aye, which we found quite. Nidry Street.
Yeah.
We'd never been in the vaults, and then when we did them with Spike. Last year we did them, and I found it very strange having to walk in and go up the stairs to the vaults.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? The first time we did it, oh my God, that night was incredible because this was when Scotland was still in lockdown and everything shut at 10 o'clock. So the Banshee was quiet, and oh my God, the vaults, they came alive. But when we went back the second time, we didn't get nothing because the pub was so loud. The walls actually vibrate from the music coming from the Banshee. You couldn't hear or do anything. But the first time we went there, we had an almost full apparition appear in the doorway. When you walk to the very end of the vaults, you go up a little wooden staircase. This is next door to the Witches' Circle. And then you go up a little staircase, and we had an almost full apparition appear in that doorway. We heard chains, we heard boots. You could see lights flickering, and then you could see the outline. I mean, I got called a very nasty name in those vaults.
Did you?
Yeah, through the spirit box. I'm not going to say it on here.
Oh, you need to tell me. You need to tell me afterwards. So everybody watching, I'll know what it is, and you'll know.
Yeah.
We did the vaults, and the pub was open, and we left early. We were meant to be in there till I think it was 6 o'clock or something, and we left about 2-3 o'clock because we got absolutely nothing, not a jot. But you know, other people had been in and said, "Oh, it's amazing," and the stone circle and blah blah blah, all the rest of it. And we've had more. We've done the other vaults twice, and both times we've not a great deal of activity, but we've had bits and pieces, you know. And that's another thing, you know. A lot of people, and I've seen many a time, people think you should do an investigation and you should get tons of activity. But it's not like that. We're happy with just even one flash of cat box. Don't get me wrong, we'd love, you know, a very, very active night, but we're happy with just we get a flash of cat ball on response. But the vaults, we left early.
No, the first night we were there, it was incredible. Again, in that back room, we spent quite a lot of time there. And my husband, because he was on the investigation as well, but he always ends up helping out. And he took the 3 gentlemen that were in my group, he took them into the other section, because you've got like a little wall that you can stand behind. And all of us ladies were in the other part. And you could feel that we'd been separated off as well. It's like the spirit there tried to make us feel uncomfortable. And then both our K2 meters were going nuts at the same time. Nigel was like nowhere near us. His was going nuts. Ours was going nuts. And then I felt something grab my arm. And you could actually see fingerprints come out on my arm here. It's like there. You can see these fingerprints come out on my arm. Well, I literally felt, I said to the guest, can you just look as well? And I felt something back here. And you can see fingerprints on my arm, but I felt like someone could grab my arm, and you can physically see them as well.
Yeah, and we get nothing. We were there for about 4 or 5 hours or something like that, and we got absolutely diddly. Not even a flash of a cat ball, nothing.
Seriously, it's crazy, isn't it? No, so the second time we went back, it was bloody awful. We got nothing because you couldn't concentrate. The music was so loud that the walls were just like bang, 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 bang. It was pointless being there.
Do you think that would put spirits off? Obviously, they've been there for X amount of years. Do you think maybe that would no scare them? I don't mean scare them, but can I put them off?
No.
Coming out. So
No.
I don't know. You thought.
I don't believe that. A few weeks ago, I was at the True Crime Museum in Hastings, and basically it's like a man-made, it's actually dug into the caves, because Hastings is all caves and stuff, like all rocks, and it's actually dug into the caves, and there was a noisy pub next door, and you could hear it, but the activity we got was still off the scale. So I don't think it interferes. I just think when there's so much going on, we're just not sometimes able to hear or focus our own senses to adjust to what spirit might be trying to do, because we're too busy getting annoyed by the noise from the pub.
You're sort of too preoccupied with what's going on next door or downstairs or whatever. But I just found Dave Waltz very, very strange.
Oh, they're definitely strange.
As compared to the other one. But I mean, Hastings, obviously that's loaded with history.
Yeah.
I mean, you can back to Roman times, stuff like that with Hastings.
Yeah.
And as you say, there's a lot of places down your way that has, because a lot down there are associated with, Roman times, Chesters as well.
Yeah, Hemel Hempstead as well. The old town, that was. Sorry,
they all get back. So they all get back to kind of Roman times and stuff. Yeah,
well, just outside of Hemel Hempstead, you've got St Albans, and that was a Roman town. And there's still so much evidence of like the Romans being there. There's a little museum, and you've actually got tunnels as well that do link. And like when in Hemel Hempstead Old Town, did you ever watch Ricky Gervais? My Life, I can't think what it's called, but it was a comedy on Netflix with Ricky Gervais in it. That's actually filmed in the Old Town, and I spent a lot of time. That's where I had my first ever paranormal experience, in the Old Town.
Is that the one he writes for a newspaper?
Yeah.
I can't remember, and I remember that because two guys tried to rob him, and then it's the one he throws the brick through the Range Rover's window for no stopping it.
Yeah, well,
I can't remember what it's called, but
where that little office is, you've got St Mary's Church just beyond that, and in front of that, you've got a pub called the Old Bell, which you can actually see in the program. My mum used to work there, and I used to help out the cleaner in there, Norma. And I was upstairs. I must have been about 9 years old, and I was upstairs in the cleaning cupboard, and I felt this hand come on my shoulder, and I've looked around saying, "It's okay, Norma," and there was no one there. But that was the first time I ever had my first paranormal experience, when I was at that pub.
How did you feel? Did it freak you, or did it?
No, not really. I was just a bit, okay, who was that? But I think that's where all of my interests stem from, was at the Old Bell. I've always had a pull with spirit from as long as I can remember. That's my first actual memory of like a spirit actually putting their hand on my shoulder, because I thought Norma was pulling me out of the cupboard, obviously because cleaning chemicals and stuff in there, but she was downstairs.
I must be a late starter then, because the 2 tugs in my sleeve, that was the first time I'd been physically touched. I'd done investigations, and again, loud and cut. I felt one night I was there with Spike, and I felt there was a guy, a man standing right behind me with his arms folded, watching. And I expected to turn around and see him, but obviously there was nothing there. But I had a strong feeling there was somebody. And I've had that a few times, that somebody's standing there watching. And I've said to the team or whoever, there's somebody standing watching us. I mean, I'm not medium or anything, but that night was big. I said, there's a guy standing right here, right beside me.
That's because he's in your energy field, isn't it? You're going to pick it up.
I was so strong. But I mean, that night with the 2 tugs, that was my first experience. So I must be a late starter.
Oh, I've been touched so many times. That's it, the Moor Mill. Yeah. The Moor Mill. I have been touched so many times I've lost count. I've actually been pushed off a chair before. The chair's been pushed from behind. That made me jump out my bloody skin.
Well, Sarah's been touched. She was touched with Mackenzie tomb. She a mark in her arm. I don't want to say there were scratches. They weren't scratches, but there was a definite mark in her arm. Laura, she'd her bum felt one night when we were out. She was sitting in a chair. Alloway Kirk, she jumped up. She was like, oh! Somebody just grabbed my backside through the chair. So I sat there. I was sitting there for about 3 hours, Donna.
No one touched that.
Nobody touched that. Bring it on. Touch the booty. Nobody wants to touch me.
Spirit tend to touch my hair an awful lot. Loads of places I've been to, even hosting and stuff.
That's going to happen with me.
They love your hair, Scott. They love your hair. And I was a Thackeray Museum. I can't remember where that is. Up north somewhere. And you could actually see my hair being played with. And as I was like saying to the spirit, like, can you please leave my hair alone? My REM pod was going absolutely bonkers at the same time. But people like, your hair's moving. I'm like, I know. I said, he keeps playing with my hair. But he wouldn't leave my hair alone. You could just see my hair actually being moved.
They were fascinating. I watched a video a couple of weeks ago on YouTube. It was a guy debunking stuff. I can't even mind his name. I watched that many bits and pieces. And it was a girl who says her hair had lifted up. And they showed you the video.
Oh, that was Ghost Hunt. No, yeah, that was Ghost Adventures. That was in one of the pubs in the Texas old town.
I don't think it was Ghost Adventures. It was a debunker, but turned out she had wire tied to her bit of hair. And there was somebody in the background that pulled, it was fishing line or something, so you couldn't really see it.
God.
It was dark, but you saw the hair going up. And she was like, somebody's touching. But it turned out it was some guy in the background that it was fishing wire that they tied to her hair.
Fake it? That's what bugs me. Why fake it? I can't stand people that fake stuff like that.
Oh, I know. Just what you said about the hair pull. I had my hair pulled in Greyfriars a year ago when I was 2, being pushed, prodded, and choked on location.
Bloody hell.
See, Laura got her bum felt. Sarah had marks on her arm. I get my sleeve tugged. Sarah's brother felt his hair getting touched, but it wasn't anything major. It just something touched my hair. Alloway Kirk as well. And that's been it. Donna was talking about a saloon girl and Ghost. It wasn't Ghost. I'll never look through and see if I can find it. It's just this guy and he debunked stuff. And he'd found this footage and he managed to debunk a fishing wire and guys like that.
That's like there's this guy on TikTok. I've actually blocked him now because he done my nutting. He kept making out that he had a ghost in his flat and he called it Winston. and stuff, and things were being pulled over, but people were actually starting to debunk him, seeing like fishing wire being pulled, and apparently the spirit followed him when he was on holiday and was pulling his bag out from the room and stuff, and you're like, oh, sorry, but I'm so bored of your crap now, so you're getting blocked.
Was that Beard Man? He did, but I can't remember. I'll have a look through my history on YouTube. There's a family. Okay. I'm not going to name them, but there's a family on TikTok.
Oh, I think I know who you're on about.
And there's stuff happening every day on them. They always manage to catch it, and it's always a camera shot. They go to the spirit or whoever it is that's doing it, and I actually contacted them, and they blocked me. I asked them to come on the show.
I'll ask you afterwards if it is who I think it is.
I can describe them to you, but I actually contacted them and said I'd like you to come on your show to chat, and they actually blocked me straight away.
Seriously?
But before that, I've been reading, folk commenting saying, why will you not let any paranormal teams in? X amount, so many teams had offered to come in for free and investigate the house, and they said, no, we're not letting anybody out here. Nobody was allowed in. So I sent them messages and I said, I'd love for you to come on the show and we can sit and chat about your house and that, and bang, it was blocked. Now, if you've got a house and it's genuinely active, it's not that you want to brag about it, but if somebody offers to come in and say, look, we can maybe help find out what's going on, then you say, right, aye, fair enough, maybe give us some answers, maybe not, who knows? Or if somebody, wants to talk
down.
Aye, if there's that much going on that these people are showing that's going on, then you'd be wanting advice after somebody.
Yeah, it's like that guy on TikTok. Paranormal investigators kept saying, well, let me come and investigate, and then nothing ever happened, but he'll be talking about all this stuff, and I thought, I'm just actually very bored of you right now.
Some of the things on TikTok are just silly. We were at the Wallace Society Day in Lanark filming episode 3 of the Wallace Trail, and we bumped into these two guys who were jet washing. It's called the Wallace House, and we were talking to these two guys who were jet washing the path, and we were actually talking about TikTok, about some of the things it does. We've got TikTok. I do TikToks, but it's like 40s and I put music out of them, that kind of thing. But we were talking to these two guys, and they were saying some of the crap that's on TikTok that people actually sit and watch, like somebody blowing up an airbed and stuff like that. And
I block all those.
This guy was saying my wife sits and watches all that, watching somebody cut a hedge and stuff like that. She sits and watches all this till hours of the night. Hank.
It's crazy, isn't it? Why? It's like there's these Indian guys, they sit in a mud puddle. I'm like, no, you're getting blocked. I'm not having that on my bloody timeline. You're getting blocked. They just do it live and they're sitting in a mud puddle.
It's the money. One of these guys was saying that one of the guys that works beside him, he's got a TikTok channel, and this boy says to him, what are you doing on TikTok? What the crap, blah, blah, blah. And the guy says, well, I make about £1,600 a month after TikTok. This guy gets millions of views for the stuff that he does. He says, I make about £1,600 a month. Just that on top of his wage. I enjoy doing them. We don't get a lot of views in that, but I enjoy putting them together and putting them up.
Yeah, I like your videos.
I know sometimes, what is it you call you what's the word?
I have a splurge.
I'll get about 20, 25 notifications. Laura does it as well. Like Donna liked your videos and the list is like that, and I'll say, Sarah, is that again?
Yeah, I go through phases. I haven't posted on there for a while, but I posted the pictures of like Highgate on there the other day. But I'm kind of like, I don't know, I go through phases where I'm all in and then I'm all out. and then I'm all in. And then
Sarah
I'm all
can
out.
sit in it for hours, but I like going through some of them. You know, I'm a big Elvis fan. I'm a massive Elvis fan. And there's a lot of Elvis. They've done a survey a few months back, so that Elvis is the most watched person, celeb on TikTok.
Oh, wow.
And it's true. I mean, you go through TikTok and, well, I wouldn't mind anyway. I don't know what other folks are like, but, there's tons and tons of Elvis TikToks. I like watching Elvis.
Once you type in one thing, it becomes like a massive feeding tube. Everything pops up.
Well, some of the stuff I get up, you think, why? No offence, I'm not sexist, but you get women on talking about their clothes and stuff like that. Eileen, you and I are going to have Bloodstall. Just wait till Halloween. Just wait till you in Edinburgh.
This will make you laugh, though. When I was I said I lived in Hemel Hempstead. People don't believe me, but there was a chip shop, Seafarers, that used to be in the town centre, and I am not kidding you. Hank from is it the Shadows, Hank Marvin?
The guitarist,
He actually walked in the chip shop. It just made me laugh, His name's Hank Marvin, and yet he walked into the chip shop because it's the old slang, isn't it? Oh, I'm bloody Hank Marvin, mate. And then he'd actually walked in the chip shop in Hemel Hempstead.
It's when you meet somebody famous, like you're kind of starstruck and what have you.
Oh, John Barnes. He used to live in Boxmoor, which is just outside of Hemel. And again, in my teens, been on like a massive drinking haul. And he'd walked into the local Kentucky. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to say it. But yeah, I was kind of like a bit rude. I was only 19.
Well, that explains it. Do you know what I mean? I've met, I've met a few years ago, met like Stanley Baxter and stuff like that, And but last year we covered the commemoration of the Battle of Stirling Bridge for the Society of William Wallace. So we're up at Stirling and we did it as a live. And James Costco was there. You know James Costco is. You seen Braveheart?
Yes.
Right, see the guy that plays Hamish's father? I was going to say the Scottish guy.
I do love Braveheart, but I can't watch anything at all that's got animals in it because my dog just barks constantly.
There's horses in Braveheart. I think there's sheep. Well, James Costco, he's a Scottish film. Like he's done loads of film. He played Hamish's dad in Braveheart. He was there. I've actually got a photo. I'll send it to you. I've got a photo to you. He was floating about. So Sarah and Laura, they went back to the car and I thought, do you know what? I'm hunting this guy down. And I just went up to this. I can't get my photo, with you. And one, he had a photographer with him, this other guy. And the guy's like, and James was like, no, that's fine. That's fine. Come here. And I'll send you you'll know his face soon as you see him. He's done.
Yeah, I probably will.
Loads of films. Erin Morecambe lived in
Harpenden.
Harpenden. He kicked about all over the place. It's when you meet celebs and and you kind of start. Even on the show, I don't know if you've ever watched the Saw films.
I don't like any horror films.
No, we'd one of the main characters for Saw in July. We had him on the show with John Azuna beside him, and I'm a massive Saw fan. I've been for years and years. So
the Saw films?
Aye.
I can't. Do you know what? I absolutely hate horror films with a passion. I can't stand them.
Oh, I need to tell you stories about when I was a wag.
A wag? I used to know Vinnie Jones.
A wag? What's a wag again?
A wag is like, isn't that someone that hangs around like a footballer's wife?
Is that not an FW? Footballer's wife.
I'm sure a wag is like something to do with celebrities.
I've heard it. I've heard Eileen seen it before and all, but I just can't remember what a wag is.
That's it. Ex-player. Yeah. A wag is a footballer's wife.
Right, got you now. I don't know if I want to hear some of these stories, Eileen. You can tell us at Halloween when we meet up. I love horror films. I was brought up in horror films. That's my favourite genre. Is I like blood and guts and people losing limbs and stuff like that.
It's weird. I've got a massive fascination. I do like watching stuff with autopsies and things like that. And obviously I've got a massive fascination with the dead because it's just interesting. But horror films, nah. Slasher films, nah.
Oh, I love them all. I love to see them,
Oh, no.
Friday 13th. So I like all the true crime stuff as well.
Yeah, I like stuff like that. It's like, what was I watching last night? It was called The Royal Autopsy, where they're like basically getting dummies, but making out that they were like royalty back in the day, and they're doing like live kind of autopsies on the kings and queens. And last night, who was it? Queen Anne, I think it was last night. That Google or go onto your Sky or whatever and type in Royal Autopsy, and it's really interesting.
I'll tell you what I did watch, and that's going to put me to shame. It was Sarah who told me about. I'd never heard of it, but I've seen it on TikTok again. Gypsy Rose. And I'd never heard of her ever.
Who's that?
And you see, I was the same as you. See, with Gypsy Rose, there was a girl whose mum had that. Oh, I can't pronounce it. Alzheimer's by proxy thing. She made it out that the Gypsy Rose had all these health conditions and she couldn't walk and stuff. And the story goes that Gypsy Rose and her boyfriend got together and they murdered the mum. And Gypsy Rose, she just recently got released from prison.
Okay.
It's a true story. I got months. I can't pronounce that. Munchausen by proxy, something like that. It's when parents make their kids ill for attention.
I've heard of that.
Seems like it's a condition or something. But this girl recently got released from prison. I think she'd done about 8 or 10 years or something. Her boyfriend got life. But I'd never heard of her. And Sarah's like, you'd never heard of Gypsy Rose? Who is she? So I watched it last week and it was actually really, really interesting. And I watch a lot of the true crime stuff, FBI's and files and all that kind of stuff. I like crime thrillers, that sort of thing.
Yeah,
I watched that Long Legs last night.
What's that?
New Nicholas. They were ranting again, TikTok. Folk were ranting about it on TikTok and saying that it was one of the scariest films they'd ever seen. It's Nicolas Cage. So I watched it last night. It's a bit weird. I wouldn't say it was scary, but it's a wee bit. It's one of these things. It's one of these films you need to sit and watch for the start.
Right. Okay.
And concentrate on it to sort of piece it together, and then the penny drops near the end. You think, oh, right.
Nicolas Cage is in some weird films anyway, isn't he? If you think, he married Lisa Marie Presley because he was obsessed with Elvis.
Aye, he was. She was in a chair, but now it was wrong where her mum had done. Aye, she just realised she was in a wheelchair for years, but she could walk. There was not a thing up there.
But the mum convinced her that she couldn't.
It was all down to the mum. He married Lisa Marie, which was very short, very brief.
It's because he was fascinated. He had a massive obsession with Elvis.
And so he married the daughter. But I like Nicolas Cage. He's done a lot. I know he got into a bit of bother a few years ago. Money-wise, he was skint or something. That was something to do with his manager or his accountant or something like that. But I think somebody robbed him of millions or put money where they shouldn't have, basically. But my favourite Nicolas Cage film is Lost in Paradise.
I haven't seen too many. I like The Wicker Man.
Aye, that was all right. Didn't have the appeal of the first one, but it was all right. I liked Lost in Paradise and The Rock with Sean Connery.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that. I've seen a few of his films.
You've never seen The Rock when he has to break into Alcatraz to rescue hostages?
Probably,
No.
but I may not have been pulled to it, so I don't remember it.
But you need to watch Lost in Paradise. It's a Christmas film.
Okay.
I know
A
it's
Christmas
only August.
film.
Aye, but I watch Christmas films all year round.
Well, this will make you laugh. I had Last Christmas playing today on Alexa.
You see, Sarah says that I'm not allowed to watch Christmas. I think I watched The Grinch in that in July, July. I was watching
love
The
the
Grinch.
film Last Christmas, and I still watch that. I love the film Last Christmas and The Holiday. That is my favourite film. That was filmed not far from us, anyway.
The Holiday.
Have you seen that? The Holiday, yeah. It's got Jude Law in it. It's got Kate Winslet, and it's got Cameron Diaz.
Oh, is that the one that they swap holidays or something?
Yeah, that was filmed not far from here. It was down in Sheer.
Aye. Face Off was a good Nicolas Cage film with John Travolta.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Old Wicker Man. I thought the old one was the better one. My birthday, Christmas Day. I've not forgotten. I've got your Easter egg sitting all wrapped, ready to go. Because it's a birthday, Christmas Day.
Oh.
I remind that's years ago. They swap holidays or something. But I was watching Big Santa Claus the movie with Dudley Moore.
Oh, you can't beat that. The original one.
I watched that last week. I was in here. Sarah and the Wayne were playing on the Xbox, and I was watching Santa Claus the movie.
Yeah,
and
I'm the same. I love watching Christmas films. Doesn't matter what time of the year it is.
Well, you see, somebody agrees with me. Sarah says, "Oh no, it's a no. You can't watch Christmas films June or July."
Yeah, you
You
can.
can. I watched National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation and all the other week. I think that's one of the all-time greats.
Yeah, what's the other one? Where they have the
I did recruitment for the elves for that one.
what's where they have is it Danny DeVito in it? Where they have the Christmas lights, you know, like where the neighbours put on that great big show.
Deck the Halls, Danny DeVito
That's it. Yeah.
Matthew Broderick.
Yeah, that's it. Matthew Broderick. I love that one.
Danny, he's a car salesman. Matthew's optician.
Oh, okay.
I deck the halls. I love that.
Yeah, that's it. I love that one. What's the other one? With Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he has to go and find the little boy's toy.
Jingle All the Way.
That's
Jingle
it.
All the Way. And he has to go and find a Turbo Man. Not that voices films.
I love that film.
He has to go and find the Turbo. I love a lot of the Christmas films. Have you ever seen Surviving Christmas with Ben Affleck and James Gandolfini? Obviously, James is passed now, but where Ben Affleck's a rich guy and he goes back to visit his childhood home and he ends up hiring.
I don't think so.
Oh, you need to watch that.
You need to send me a list.
He's basically hires James Gandolfini and his family for Christmas. Thing he's in it. Oh Christ, what's her name? The mother in Home Alone.
Oh, she's in Beetlejuice as well, isn't she?
Aye, and she was in Schitt's Creek as well.
Yeah.
What's her name?
I can't think of her name. She's got those bright blue eyes, isn't she?
Aye, Santa Claus the movie was made in Borehamwood. Santa Claus the movie was made in
Borehamwood. Yeah.
I was job centre staff in Walford and recruited. I thought she was kidding on.
Really?
I thought she was joking when she said that she recruited the elves.
That's like Watford as well. If you think the old Kevin and Perry Go Large, that was actually filmed in Watford as well, underneath the escalators.
All right, well there you go. That's something I didn't know. I thought Eileen was having a joke when she says she recruited the elves. Because Eileen's, she's no, I'm taller than Eileen. Let's just put it that way. That's annoying me. That 5'6".
I'm taller than you.
What height are you?
5'7".
Oh, you're just with that much.
I was 5'7.5", but then I lost that when I had a disc removed. When I had part of a disc removed because part of my disc blew up.
Right. She is. She's a cute little packages, Eileen. That's annoying me with that woman's. Is it Catherine? Come on, Eileen, help us out here. The mother in Home Alone.
It's not Kathleen Turner, is it? No.
No, is it Catherine? That's really going to annoy me. She's in so many films.
She is.
She was in. Have you watched that Schitt's Creek?
I did try to watch that, but I got a bit bored of it.
Oh, you need to watch it the full
Home
way
Alone.
through.
Hang on, I'm going to tell you who she is. Right, you want cast. It's not Kathleen O'Hara. Yeah, Kathleen O'Hara.
That's it.
And then you've got John Hurd as well. He's been in loads of films. John Hurd has been in Beaches. That's one of my favourite films.
Well, she was in. I forgot what I was saying now. But she played. Surviving Christmas. James Gandolfini and Catherine O'Hara. She plays the mother, and so he hires him for the Christmas season. Basically, it's actually really. Okay. It's definitely one to watch. Catherine O'Hara.
She's been in loads of films.
I thought she was brilliant in Schitt's Creek, but I thought she was because I love Eugene Levy. I think he's amazing.
He's a funny guy. He is. I've always liked him.
And it's his son that plays his son in Schitt's Creek. Aye, and the lassie in the cafe is actually his daughter.
Oh, I did try watching that, but I don't know. I got a bit bored of it.
We've watched that about 3 or 4 times at all the seasons.
I'll have to try and give it another go then. I'm just looking at the stuff she's been in now. She's been in tons of stuff. Do you remember 6 Feet Under?
Is that the one? It's a family. They're all funeral directors and they're all arguing.
That's it. Aye. Yeah. She's been in that. I'm being nosy now. Yeah, I used to watch that.
You're stalking her now.
I'm stalking. Don't tell her.
Aye, 6 Feet Under. The guy that was he was in he played the father in Step Brothers. I don't know if you've seen Step Brothers.
I love Step Brothers.
I think it's amazing.
That absolutely kills me. That is such a funny film.
I always have to turn away at the drum kit scene, but
yeah, when he gets on ball sack.
I'm always kind of like that, you know.
He's just greasing it, that's all.
I think it's a fantastic when they say, you know, when they build the bunk beds and all that, so much room for activities.
It's when they're sleepwalking as well, isn't it? And they're like raiding the kitchen when they're sleepwalking. And the fight where he's got to lick the yellow snow.
You feel sorry for the father and mother, but don't you?
Oh dear, that'd be me with my lot.
Yeah, you do. You feel sorry for the parents, but in that film, you know,
it's funny. She's been in quite a lot as well. She used to be in the program. Oh, like where she did like autopsies and stuff. I can't remember what it was called.
No idea.
I can't think what it's called, but she basically played like a criminal detective and stuff, and she'd go and basically find out. It started off good, but every single ending ended the same.
Is that was it Body of Evidence?
That's it.
She was a medical examiner or something.
That's it. Yeah, it started off good at the beginning, but then it's like, let's just end this program now. We're going to end it exactly the same as the other one ended.
You get a lot of these. See, I'm a big Columbo fan. I don't know if you ever watched Columbo.
Nah.
Seriously, I've been a Columbo fan for decades, and everything in Columbo was the same.
Yeah.
And I still watch them to this day. I've seen them hundreds of times, but I watched one yesterday. In fact, I had one on, and every episode was the same. But I think because Columbo was unique when it first came out, because it was different. It was done round the other way. So you say you get the crime, and then you need to figure out who done it. But whereas Columbo turned it round the other way, they showed you who done it and how they done it. And the thing was, you to figure out how he was going to prove it.
Oh, okay.
That's what made Columbo so unique, because they turned it round the other way. It was the first
reverse psychology.
It was the first programme of its type, and it ran for 15, 20 years. So you to figure out how's he going to prove that, because at first the crime would look foolproof, the perfect murder. You think how's he going to do it? And so you were sitting there trying to work out what he was thinking. But I just loved him, and it was always just one more thing. That would bug the hell out of me, but it was just one more thing. And be walking away, one more thing. But I'm a major Columbo fan.
Peter Falk was the highest paid actor.
He suited the part brilliant. Suited the part brilliant. But I've just noticed the time. We've been on for 2 hours, Fla.
We did this last time, didn't we?
So I'm going to need to bring you back again, because that's 11:05. And tonight we did no bad. We did talk paranormal.
Yeah.
And then we kind of moved on to talking crap. Which,
we did last time.
Aye. So, should give each other a pat in the back,
Well done, Scott.
Thank you, Doug. Well done to you. I'm proud of you. I'm very, very proud of you. You know what I mean? But I'll keep a hold of you after you come off.
Okay. Yeah, I'll tell you what I got called.
Aye.
Scott, I'll have to send you. I make little resin ghosts. I'll have to send you one.
Well, what they made it?
Eh?
What they made it?
Resin. I make little resin ghosties.
After you said I make one. You know what? After you said there, after you said I make little wedding ghosts. It's your English accent.
Resin.
Now, it's because you talk. Right. It's because you talk English and I talk Scottish. That's how I get mixed up.
That's wrong, because I can understand you. So how rude.
I will talk to you tomorrow, Missy. Don't you worry. You and I will chit chat. No, thanks for watching.
Nice meeting you.
So, what was I saying? Aye, where can people find you?
Where can they find me?
Aye.
On Facebook, but it's a private. My one's a private account, but I've got my TikTok one, which is open. I can't remember what it's called.
You can't remember your own
I think it's Donna _paranormal something. I can't remember.
Donna can send me the link and I'll pop it up on the page, folks.
I must admit, I haven't posted an awful lot on there, because sometimes when you're hosting, you don't get a chance to post things. I just post loads of photos of places that I've been. But obviously, my Facebook. I've got 2 Facebooks. One is my old one, which I finally got back after 2 years, which I added you to because all my photos.
2 years.
Yeah, I just lost control over it. I was devastated. I just couldn't get on there, and then suddenly, out of the blue, about a month ago, it popped up, and I was able to put a new email address on. I was able to add a new telephone number, and I've got everything back. So I don't know what happened.
I don't understand how it all works. To be honest with you, I don't have a clue. I cracked my phone last week, so I got a new phone. Came on Saturday, and I'm going to look at a date here, right? But who cares? Anybody who knows me will know that I'm. As my new phone came on Saturday, so I says to Sarah, the last time I got a new phone, I took into Vodafone, and they transferred the data hours. But Sarah says, I can do it for you. I said, well, that's fine. And I says, so how, we're talking about TikTok, actually, again. And I says, how's TikTok going to know it's me?
You put in your email and your password.
I didn't know that. She says, how's my new phone going to know it's me? And she's like, are you seriously asking me that? I said, aye. And then she says, what's your password for Facebook? I said, don't know. What's your password for this? Don't know. I've got a clue with my passwords.
There's a thing for that, Scott. It's called writing it down.
Well, I should have done that years and years ago when I made them up, but you don't think it. You just, right, that'll do. That's fine.
Right. I have a password book. So all my passwords.
All right. So I just need her addressing and I can go and break in and nick it because I know where she keeps the book.
Yeah, if you ever come round, I'm hiding that now.
If I ever come round and I say I'm going to the bathroom and I'm away for more than 10 minutes.
Downstairs. That's fine. You can use the one downstairs.
you get two, like?
3.
You get 3, we've got 2. You get 3. Always going to go one better, ain't you?
I don't mean to. No, we've got 2 bathrooms, one ensuite and one family bathroom, and we've got the downstairs toilet.
Why?
Why?
Why do you need 3 bathrooms?
We've got 4 children.
Well, that explains it. We've got the ensuite and we've got a wee bathroom, which is their daughter's bathroom. It's tiny, but it's got the necessaries in it. So she counted that as her bathroom.
Yeah.
She claimed that, and then we've got our ensuite, obviously.
Yeah,
sounds quite posh, that, doesn't it? I mean,
pardon?
It sounds quite posh, that. Got the ensuite bathroom.
It does sound posh, but it's just, it is what it is, isn't it?
So if I come down, I might just say, no, I want to use your ensuite. I use my ensuite at home. I want to use your ensuite.
You have permission.
And then if I disappear up the stairs for 10, 15 minutes, you know I'm memorising the passwords.
Oh, I'm hiding that. Believe me, you will not know where that's hidden.
I'll be like that.
You can't go.
Or the next page, taking photos of the got them. That was lovely, Donna. Thanks very much. That was a great one. You've got a lovely shiver. You know. So give her a wee look up. She's well worth a look. And
oh, bless you.
She will be back again because that's over 2 years now, and we've no finished chatting. But time is marching on. You know what I mean? We do have the time she's on, so I'll just need to grab her again. But we'll wind it up there tonight, folks. So thanks everybody for watching, and we hope you enjoy the. I was going to say the rest of the week. This is only Monday, isn't it? So I've got 4 days to go before the weekend. Enjoy your week. We're back on Thursday with Mr. Barry John. Good
old Barry.
I like Barry. It's been a wee while since we had him on, but I like I like Mr. I need to say that in case he's watching. So we're back Thursday. We've seen this young lady again anyway, folks, so we're going to call it a night just now, and we shall talk to you later on. So take care. Bye.
See ya.